Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's everything doing? I'm your host, General Daniel, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And as you've probably read the title, this is going to be Avengers Infinity War versus, well, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. So, before we begin, there's two things you need to know up front. Number one, there will be spoilers for Avengers Infinity War and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Okay? That's it. And number two, if you love Batman vs. Superman, and I'm going to be bashing, if you love Batman vs. Superman, and you're going to say, you're bashing on it, just go ahead and leave this video. If you hate Avengers Infinity War, and you're going to hear me gush about it and how much it's a great film, just get out of here. But this is going to be my own opinion, so please keep your comments kind in the comments down below, even though no one comments on my videos. I haven't gotten one single comment. I've got a couple, but they're mostly cool or good video, but. So, yeah, I don't know who sent me that comment, creep. So let's get into it. There's going to be different rounds, and I'm going to battle them for 10. Coming in round one is going to be the story for both of them. So here's the story for Avengers Infinity War. Thanos has come, and he wants to collect all 6 Infinity Stones to wipe out half of the universe with one snap. The Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, all have to team up and stop Thanos before he gets all of the stones to wipe out the world with a single snap. Batman BVS is a much more confusing story, so you're going to have to bear with me. It's very complicated, very convoluted. Can you handle it? Okay, let's just get into it. Batman versus Superman's story is, in the events of Man of Steel, Batman hates Superman. You're probably like, oh, that's a pretty no. That's not that. No, that's not the cream of the crop. I didn't even get my feet wet of this convoluted story of this film. Okay, let's continue the story that he hates Batman. So, but also the world thinks that maybe Superman should not be trusted either, and also Lex Luthor wants to build a plan to just restore Superman to have that. Also, Clark Kent is trying to figure out the stories of Gotham City about Batman. Superman doesn't like Batman. Batman kills people. Lex Luthor invented Doomsday. Oh yes, and also Wonder Woman finds about the Justice League through a file. Yep. And they're also trying to build up the Justice League. Superman dies. We also have his funeral. We also have a love story. We also have setting up the Justice League. We also have Lex Luthor's getting out of prison. Well, we also have setting up for 50 more movies. We also have a Wonder Woman cameo. We meet all the Justice League, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. And Doomsday dies, and we get a setup for Justice League, which is also crap. So that is the main synopsis of, and you're probably thinking, hey, Avengers is way more confusing than what you said. But it's actually not. I mentioned the main story. It's one single story, one simple story with some extra stuff added. Batman v Superman has a lot. So let's compare stories here. Well, right off the bat, Avengers Infinity War story is already much, very much, 100% a much more easy and simple story to follow. Thanos wants all 6 Infinity Stones, and they have to try to stop him. Yes, there is much more details, which we'll get into later. It's a much more simple story to follow, and a simple story can make a much more cohesive and better film. I don't hate Batman v Superman. We'll get to that in a minute. but its story is just all over the place. There's no simple motive. There is so many. It's trying to set up 6 other movies and trying to dispute one good film. It's Batman versus Superman. But wait, we have that Dawn of Justice thing about it, so we have to have that and add into it as well. So it just doesn't comprehend of anything. We got so many other stories. We got the Lex Luthor story, we got the Batman story, we got the Superman story, we got the Justice League story, we got the Doomsday story. We'll get to Doomsday. Trust me, we'll get to Doomsday. That is a whole nother beast. This story is just absolutely just convoluted of a mess. Avengers Infinity War story is simple, easy, and a simple story that the audience can follow. Story goes to Avengers Infinity War with 1 point. Then second category is, of course, what's a great story without characters? Now, I don't hate DC, but this movie's characters are just... Here's what makes Zack Snyder a terrible... He can make a good-looking movie, which we'll get to it. Batman Superman only has about 7 characters at the most. Batman, Superman, Lois Lane, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor. That's the 5 main characters. Avengers Infinity War has millions of characters. It is the entire Guardians of the Galaxy. It has the entire Avengers. It has Thanos. It has just all sorts. But the Wachowski, this is a much more... Their characters, we learn all of their motives with this. So many other characters. Infinity War has a much more characters are clear of their motives. We know what their motives are. We just do. We know what their motives are. So with BVS, yes, we know what their motives are, but not very clearly. This comes to a tie because Avengers Infinity War does have a lot of characters, but all these characters are needed to stop the most powerful villain in the entire Marvel MCU so far. Batman and Superman's characters, they have less, but it seems like they have more. This point goes to Infinity War. Well, let's get to number 3. Let's get into number 3's point, the villain. So, Batman Infinity War has Thanos and his children. And Batman Superman has Lex Luthor and Doomsday. So let's compare Thanos to Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. Yeah, it's like comparing a tank to a puppy. Actually, no, it's like comparing a tank to a rock or a piece of dirt. Thanos is much more of a complete motive of a character because, you know why? Because his motive is clear. We learn a lot about him. He's not just some bad guy who wants to collect all 6 Infinity Stones and wipe out the world. We know his motives. Yes, we know Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor's motives. He hates Superman. He wants to wipe out the world. But he has 3 different things of wiping out Superman. He either has the press do it, Batman do it. Oh wait, those 2 are really working because they're saying I'm insane. Oh, let's have Doomsday do it, and even that doesn't even physically work because Superman's not really dead because he comes back in Justice League. Really? Really? That's your massive plan. Yes, Thanos' plan is big and it's much, but we have his motives. He thinks wiping out half the world is mercy. Yes, it's crazy. Oh no, so is Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor or is he playing the Joker? Because, I don't know, last time I checked, Lex Luthor was an insane maniac who just, yes. Third point goes to Infinity War. Coming at the fourth place, what's a great superhero movie without some great... So let's see what is the best cast. BVS has a good cast. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and just blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I love the Infinity War cast. I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I just love every cast in Infinity War does their job perfectly. I love this cast, and I love the Guardians. The cast in Infinity War, they just have much more soul power. It's a much more... And I think I know performances, we have to go to performances. I hate to say this, but it seemed like no one's really acting in BVS. The only one I really love in Batman Superman as a performance character is Ben Affleck as Batman. He was great as Batman. But everything else, Superman just seemed like a whiny little brat. They're like, people hate me. Must move on with my life. Yeah, life sucks. Who's like that? No one. His motives are never perfectly clear. They are. But the performances, Chris Pratt gave an amazing performance as Star-Lord. Just everyone. So I know. But then this point goes to Infinity War. So, well, here comes to the final sentence. The last point, what film has the best action? I think BVS has some great action. I love the fight between Superman and Batman. I love some of the action scene. But Infinity War just has some amazing action. Despite this opening action scene, Hulk versus Thanos, this movie has a variety of action. Batman Superman doesn't. It's just people punching each other, and it gets really, really boring. Infinity War mixes up with people punching each other with some wizard stuff, and it just makes a much more coherent and simple, it makes it more easy to watch of action scene. Batman Superman's action is what we've been wanting to see. Batman Superman is like, a whole, 10 minutes? And I gotta say, I love just the action in Infinity War. It's just amazing. So, Infinity War takes the point. So that means Avengers Infinity War is a way better film than BVS. So let me know what you think is a better film. Comment below, let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I'll see all you lovely folks in the next video.